Bello, do you have any idea what is the most important thing that you can do in Minecraft? That is absolutely correct. Food. But food on its own is not enough. You also need to have entertainment, so that you can chill while eating. The only problem is, we don't really have any production of food. So let's fix it. But just before we do that, there are a few minor updates. If you guys remember, our nether no longer works, so I had to make an infinite lava source in the overworld. And now it's fully functioning and we have tons of lava. Another very small project that I had to do was to move our kelp farm to a new area because it was blocking the expansion of our create factory. I mixed it with a sugarcane farm and now we have them both. But then it hit me. What if we use my grandfather's instructions on getting power? No. Better than that, the supreme lava power. Of course, the main question is, how the hell do we do that? The answer is right in front of you, the magmator, which is going to make us 20,000 RF per tick. I like that. Very good. That stupid little setup is making us 160,000 RF per tick. I do agree, but it does require a huge amount of infrastructure, like a super amazing lava pool, a magical wither grinder, and also a very optimal power setup. Of course, the last one was sarcasm. Actually, now that I'm thinking, let's make it 240,000. At least in this way, we would be able to say that we are generating almost 250,000 RF per tick. On a very positive note, at least with the reactors, we are doing that. But do not be worried, these are all temporary powers until we get into deep resonance. This is Minecraft, you need power in order to make power. I do have a feeling with all that power, we're going to need a higher capacity. So for the moment, let us order 30 more nitro energy cells. That should increase our capacity by another 60 billion. Also, the supreme lava power that we have doesn't look very supreme. Yes, I would say that is much better. I had to fix our pump because it was floating in mid-air, and even though this is a magical village, nothing should float. And we also have some magma blocks to resemble the heat, and obviously the path itself. However, I noticed something which is not really fun. Do you notice that? Notice what? No, look, exactly. It's not there. My harvester from Create is gone, so even our stupid mob farm is not working. Well, the fact that we're not generating mana over there is not very important, because I do have a massive source over here. The problem is, I want my berries, but this is going to be a surprisingly easy fix. We just cover it with cobblestone, put back the rich soil, replant the stupid berries, obviously with a wand, put back our dimensional chest, a chute, a barrel, and 2 starbunkles. 10 times more cute than Create. And yes, we are getting source. Doing a bit of ars nouveau reminds me of 2 things, my pants and sourceberry pie. And by pie, I meant rolls. It has been ages that we wanted to do this and I have been lazy. So let us make a scribes table, upgrade it to alteration table. Thank you. Put it in our ars nouveau area. I have been making a few spells and I'm short on mana. Just as a very small clarification, only my pants is from ars nouveau, the rest is from hexerite. If you look at it, it is telling us that it's a tier 1 and it has 1 empty slot. Apparently with 2 blaze rods, we can upgrade it. Now it's a tier 2 with 2 slots. For upgrading it further, we are going to need 2 pearls, a chorus fruit, and the pants. Coolest thing ever. Now we are at the final tier with 3 slots. The question is, how do we fill in those slots? Obviously, with these guys. Do you know what is my greatest achievement in this mod pack? Automating these stupid things, cause we need them now. Although in hindsight, what I should have done was to hook them up to source, cause it's incredibly slow. We do it after the pants. Anywho, we put the pants on the table. We can either add Wixie or gliding. We go with gliding. I have creative flight, but you know, this would be like an elytra. Also, where's my base? That way. All of that is fun and nice, but let us also add magical capacity. Now we have more mana. Sorry I killed your boss. Before we move on, I just wanted to mention something. Whenever you're having a lovely day, don't forget to sacrifice to darkness. My dearest Deranged, Witherstorm, and Michael, enjoy the heaven. Also welcome to the club. Prince Thomas, you're out of the cage. The problem is, we ran into a hole. Should I take you out? Let me know. Also, I'm not your dog. Oh, wrong mod pack. Now that our pants is fixed, we come to our next project. Sourceberry rolls. In the recent version of ars nouveau, the recipe has been changed. Now you need milk and you need dough. I have no idea why you would need dough. But first things first, it seems we don't have a path. I'll be right back. Yes, much nicer. It's always lovely to have a road which leads nowhere. Don't you worry, we're gonna make the where. But just before we do that, our energy cells are ready and that is going to increase our capacity. 2 of them were left. So what is it that we want to try and do? For the moment we are generating source using sourceberries, correct? It is not the worst thing in the universe, but rolls are going to be much better. Of course, sourceberry pies are going to be the best, but the problem is that in this mod pack, you can't actually put it on a pedestal because it's placeable. I have no idea which mod does that, but please don't. The issue with crafting rolls is that we're going to need milk, and the issue with crafting dough is that we need water, or eggs, but I want eggs for something else. As I have been telling you guys, thermal expansion has been added to the game, so we have a nice solution. Sequential fabricators. Yes, I give you that. An assembler from immersive engineering looks much nicer, but I'm assuming it's going to be much laggier. Anyways, the good thing about these guys is that they can accept the fluid in the recipe. So how are we going to do this? Of course, everything starts with power. We shall have an XNet controller, a few connectors. I don't like that. Yes, as I was saying, we're gonna do this with pipes. I don't like weird textures. Let us start again. We're going to need power, 2 entangled blocks. One of them will be entangled to the rancher for milk, and the other one to the drawer controller. Eternal water block. We extract wheat and berries, a pattern for dough, and there you go. We have dough. We shall have another pattern for the rolls, extract the milk, and get the rolls. We have to make it smart, otherwise it's gonna clog up. For some reason I cannot find this stupid augment, but it's okay, this works. And we are getting rolls at a relatively good rate. However, we are going to have another sequential fabricator, and that is going to be for making the wheels of cheese. I love cheese, especially in wheel form. Perfection. It's just that that was our last piece of sadie root, so what we're going to do is that we're going to have a small patch for it. We have our patch of sadie root, we have our wheels of cheese, and we are also producing our sourceberry rolls at a decent speed. That does mean somehow we have to get under here. Aha, we found it. Change your frequency. That means from now on, in order to generate source, we're going to use the rolls. Also, how can you not love this? Another very small thing that I wanted to do was to automate our bees. A bit. We shall remove the nests, fix the block that we just broke, replace them with beehives, and use some of these hive hoppers. They are from thermal expansion, it's going to gather everything for us. And yes, some of our bees are mythic bosses. A few episodes ago, I did mention that we need some methods of transportation between our main village and our occultism base. I said we are either going to use create or little logistics. Nobody actually told me their preference, so I'm assuming I can make the decision myself. So because my harvester literally broke this episode, definitely we're not going to go with create, we're going to go with little logistics. And no, I don't really think that has anything to do with our crashes. Create breaks on its own anyways, especially the multi-blocks. So we need to have some sort of a path to a train station which leads to our occultism area. I think the station itself has to be here. Yeah, which will line up with our occultism base. Good. We finally have a very simple bridge which does require a ton more details, but do not be worried, we will do that as we go along. The distance is also not that great because, you know, you can just throw an ender pearl or blink. But the idea is that this is going to be the first step in a bigger network. For example, we're going to continue the tracks until that mountain over there. That is going to be the site of our nature's aura base. And I don't know, maybe over here we can have a small structure for the miners from occultism. You know, so that the trains will bring back the resources. However, unlike create, little logistics is not very ideal for human transportation. It's mainly for cargo, so I don't know how we want to do this. But for the moment, let us set up a locomotive. And of course, it's going to be a steam locomotive. I don't like electric. They don't have steam. So you place down the locomotive, you get a wrench because it's facing the incorrect way. You know, however you place it, it faces the incorrect way. Okay, that works. We add some carts and then we take some vehicle chains and we connect them together. Oh, this is a nice change. Registered vehicles can travel without chunk loaders. Okay, you're registered. Now work. It's okay. I forgot some tracks. Another very small question is, if we use an activator rail, can we disembark? Yes. We can select destinations. Just in case you're wondering, the way that an activator rail works is that, well, it doesn't really affect the minecart when it is not powered. But when it is powered, see what happens. You see? So if I'm on it, I'll disembark. Or any other entity, obviously. That is very important because we should be able to have a control panel over here powering an activator rail at a destination, and then we would be able to disembark. And just to clarify, yes, there is some sort of a ticket system like Railcraft in Little Logistics using the locomotive route, but that's not going to disembark us. That's the problem. Obviously, none of these things are actual problems because you can just press shift and disembark, but we want to make it into a problem so that we would be able to solve it and have fun. We're not going to do the entire train station today because I have so many other things to do, but let us at least give it a test. Let us say that we want to disembark. You just arrived in time. I wanted to say, let us say we're going to disembark here. Well, the logic for this is actually going to be much easier than I thought. I believe what we should be able to do is that we should be able to have a redstone link under here, you know, under the activator rail. We put you on receive mode, and I don't know, for the moment, frequency is going to be a minecart. And to be able to send the signal, we're going to have another redstone link, a pulse extender from create, and we are going to set it to, I don't know, 30 seconds. And of course, a button. Yeah, we just have to wait for the train. So we press the button, we should be able to disembark over there automatically. I'm actually just guessing, I'm not sure. I'm not great with redstone. But yes, it worked. That should be powered for around 30 seconds and then it should turn off automatically. Yeah, for cargo itself, we don't really need to do that because we do have the docking rails and they work automatically. Which brings up another issue, we need to provide coal to the locomotive. And I don't really remember that, but if a hopper goes into a docking rail, are you gonna stop? The issue is that it's not missing that much coal. Yeah, maybe 1 or 2. Another very important thing that you should always remember is that this is Minecraft, so we should have things that we don't need just for fun, and in order to make everything more realistic. So, we're going to disembark over here, but we're in a hole. It is very true, I can just fly up here and go to our occultism area, but that's not how we do that. We want to be a bit fancy, so we're going to use an elevator. Besides, eventually this is going to be a station, so why the hell not? I'm assuming the place that we want to get out is going to be somewhere around here, so let us dig a shaft. Yeah, it's gonna lead up over here. Perfect. We can use the elevators from open blocks, but it's just one block. I don't really like them. There's also another one from pneumatic craft, which is incredibly cool. The problem is it's either a 1x1 or a 2x2. So I think for the elevator part, we're just gonna use create. Somehow. I really want the elevator to be a 3x3, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to have a platform made out of casings. We use super glue and pray to all the gods that it's not gonna break. It really should not, because it's literally within one chunk. We want it to go up by 9 blocks, a gear shift, and of course a motor, an ender gate. And if we give you a redstone signal, you go up, nice. And if we remove it, you should come down. Yes, I think we're finally done. If we press the button, we will go up. We can go and do our business, and whenever we want to go back down, we press the button, the elevator is going to come up, and it's going to take us down. I'm using the same logic. We are having a pulse extender with 5 seconds. So by default, the mechanical piston is pulling the elevator down, and whenever we press the button, it's gonna invert it. For 5 seconds, which I think it's more than enough. We don't need to do more. Let us say that I'm sitting in my first class lounge and I'm enjoying some wine and some chocolate cake. Actually, that doesn't really go well together. I am literally making the finest cheese ever, so we can have a wheel of cheese. Not like that. Decan place, yes. A cutting board and a knife. So let us do this again. Let us say that I'm sitting in my first class lounge and I'm enjoying wine and a wheel of cheese. I like cheese, but how do I know if the train is arriving? Because you know, over here I can't really see anything, even though we do have a beautiful clock. What we're going to do is that we're going to make a vehicle detector that is going to detect whenever the train is passing in front of it. Let us wait for it to pass. I don't really want to break it again. Anywho, I believe if we put you over here and cover you with a track and then forget where the hell did I place you, I think it's here? Yes. Are you gonna send a signal whenever the train is arriving? Yes. That's what we want. It's literally like an observer and it even has the same texture. We should be able to have another redstone link and take it to one of the stations. We will have it in every station, don't you worry. We shall have another link over here, same frequency and on receive mode. And of course, a purple lamp. So now whenever I'm sitting in my first class lounge, whenever the train is nearby, yes, the lamp is on. I can't really use a note block because I have reduced the volume, so yeah, lamp it is. I know what you're thinking, because I'm very smart. With beautiful eyes. No, but I do understand. That is a lot of work for just like, I don't know, 50 blocks. It's more than 50 blocks, maybe 150 blocks, but you get the point. The thing is, as I have already mentioned, this is going to be one of our stations. We're going to have several of them, and we're going to use little logistics a lot. I just wanted to give you a very small demonstration on how everything is going to work. And this is the time that I normally crash. I haven't crashed yet. Yeah, we're good. Shocking. Now let us move on to our next project. One, by the way, do we have any honeycombs? Yes, we do. These are great. I'm very happy. Anywho, let us move on. If you guys remember, a few episodes ago, we devised a plan so that we can turn off our create factory with a flick of a button, correct? It was incredibly laggy, and we don't like lag. And trust me, I hate it more than you. However, in the comment section of a few episodes ago, somebody suggested that can we detect if something is on the conveyor belt or not so that we can automatically turn the factory on, do its process, and turn it off again. Yes, that is actually very possible, but we have a better solution. Which for some reason we have actually used it in our wither farm before, and it completely skipped my brain. And yes, I'm talking about the crafting emitter from Refined Storage. The few redstone links that we have in order to turn off every single farm in our world is actually in this structure over here, under this mountain. And the structure is because of the mob farm. As you know, we had some floating cages and I had to cover it somehow. What we're going to do is that we're going to have a network receiver from Refined Storage over here. We shall link the card. Yes, it is linked. And then we're going to have the crafting emitter above it. So now we can specify a few items. For example, if you want to make a brass casing, you're going to emit a redstone signal. That hopefully is going to turn off the torch, activate the factory. Oh, and by the way, that little shack over here is for the network receivers and transmitters, you know, so that I don't have to look for them. They're just in one location. Anyways, the network card goes in, and I do have a feeling if we order some casings, the factory should be on. Yes, it's on. Perfect. Whenever the crafting job is finished, it's going to turn off automatically. And that's what we want. We want it to be smart. If you're going to do something similar in your world, which I do recommend that you do because our FPS just dropped to 40 and that's not really good. There is something that you should remember, and that is in the crafting emitter you should specify to emit a redstone whenever it's crafting something that you want. We are making casings over here, so we have filters for the casings. But if I want to make some stripped logs, we can't really do that. Do you know why? Because we don't have a filter for it. But you might notice it's actually making it. It's part of the process of making casings. So either you should have a filter for every single recipe, or at least the final stage. Also, whenever you press F3, that thing is orange. Does it mean that one is causing lag? What if we cover it? It's the same. Also, I just forgot to mention, thank you for reminding me about the redstone. That was a great tip. Honestly speaking, I wasn't even thinking about it. And the best part is, we can even install those for our mob farms. Just as a very small example, one of our mob farms is giving us iron, correct? I believe it was the cave creepers. Yes, exactly. This one. Let us try that too, just in case you're also interested in doing that. This time, instead of a crafting emitter which emits a redstone signal whenever something is being crafted, what we're going to need is a detector. If you're doing applied energistics, you just do that with a level emitter and that's it. Anywho, another network receiver. This time we paint it, and I just realized it should have been here. We shall have another transmitter. We paint it the same color. And yes, I do understand that I'm spamming these guys, but power is no longer an issue. I mean, that is very true. We only have 12 generators, but I can spam 20 more. So we shall put the emitter. I was hoping you can connect to that. No, it's okay. We can make a few changes. We're going to ask this guy to detect iron, and we're going to set it to, I don't know, 150,000. And we want the mode to be emit when below the amount. Yes, now it's active. You know, it doesn't really have to work like that. We should be able to have a piston, then our emitter over here. I just had to relink everything, but if we put you in, the mob farm should be active, I think. Yes. It's active, and it's actually going to stay active until we get 150,000 iron. It's not that much, we can wait and check. I'm really garbage at math, it actually took a while, but now we're very close. It's not going to be exact because it is a mob farm, so we could get extra iron, but it should stop any second. Oh, the piston gets stuck. Okay, maybe it's just a visual thing and we don't really need to have a piston. Yeah, it is a visual thing. The mob farm is active, and this time I just increased the amount by 100. So it's 150,000 and 100. Any second, you should stop. Yes, you stopped. It is a mob farm, so sometimes you get looting, sometimes you get something, and yeah. It can increase by a bit, but this seems to work fine. I thought it's like an emitter, so I was placing it weirdly. Just before we move on to our next project, which unfortunately is not going to be food because I wanted to use XNet, and well, XNet is kind of bugged out. At least the textures. I'm not sure if the actual thing is going to cause a crash or not. But last episode I did mention that the nether is not working and some of you were offering solutions. No, it's not just the nether portal. I have waypoints in the nether, and they don't exist. And it is not just waypoints, we have farms in the nether which are chunk loaded and they're not generating anything. So the nether is dead. I don't know, something in the update corrupted something. This has happened before. Not in this mod pack, but I don't know, it was I think old mod 7 or 6. It is the new year and there has not been an update for the past 5 or 6 days, so maybe the next update is going to fix it. Oh, and by the way, I did delete the entire nether. It didn't work. So our next project is actually going to be something incredibly weird. Mahogany. This guy cannot cut down the big mahogany trees, and even I can't cut them down. You know, if you harvest a tree, well, that time it worked. You see, all the wood is not connected, so it gets stuck. So here is what we're going to do. First off, you're useless. And secondly, we're going to use the same trick that we did in Stoneblocks, meaning that we're going to make a quarry. And I think the wood that we're going to get from the trees are different than these, because, you know, these are the ones which are covered. I don't know what they're called. So let us grow a few trees. That's a small one. I want a big one. Not that you want a big one, you don't get one. Okay. For saving some space, we're actually going to put the quarry under this barrel, so that everything it harvests goes inside this barrel, and I do have a filtering system for it. Then we take our shaped card, which is a clearing quarry, very important, and we just select the builder. Then we select the first corner. I'm assuming the second corner can be here. And before we do anything stupid, I do have a filter for just mahogany logs. We don't want to cut down the rest. The quarry goes in, and we activate. Yep. Perfect. Yeah, we lose these ones. Why? Aren't they supposed to be different? Maybe what we want is NBT? Let us try this. Yeah, it is NBT. That one stayed. Then I guess we're good. You just get your power and we set you on a loop. Of course, we are still going to get all the saplings and items on the ground, but that's not very important because we have this little fellow who's going to collect everything. So let's grow a tree. We wait. It's gone. Perfect. and he's going to collect everything. And obviously we get a new sapling, so that's perfect. And the reason that I need a ton of mahogany is that I build with it. Therefore, I think our mahogany situation has already been solved. It's just that I have consumed a lot, so I need to bone meal some of these guys. Passive generation is no longer going to help us. I mean, it is, after like I have 1000 logs or something, but seems to be working fine. I'm happy. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, I think it's also a good time to wrap up the episode. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed it. Till the next one, bye bye.